good mood on Monday. You're gonna have a good week. Thanks for joining, guys. This is live about mindset and manifestation. We're a group of people that have energetically propelled the rest of the group and ourselves forward. We manifested tons of stuff, and the momentum of our manifestation is increasing. We're getting bigger and bigger manifestations. You don't have to take my word for it. They're in our Facebook group if you want to read them. And the success stories are both financial, they're both romantic, they're in all areas of life. I'm really happy for everybody, and I know that as we move from this year where we lay the foundation, the barriers will be broken, and 2024 is going to be the best year for every single person in our group. Every single person in our group will have a better year than they've ever had. It's not going to be the best for the rest of our lives because we keep going better. That's the idea, guys. As you progress through life, you're supposed to get better and better. Yeah, you might get a few wrinkles and everything, but inside, the way you experience love, peace, abundance, that should increase, should clarify, should feel better and better to be in this vehicle and in your interaction with the world. And if you're having the opposite experience, you're doing something wrong. There's an error in your thinking. And it's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I not functioning properly right now. Something in me is not functioning properly right now because I feel worse this year than I did last year. That's your measurement. If you feel worse this year than you did this time last year, well, not only have you not grown, you've actually devolved, and you have to put a rapid stop on your devolution and reverse it. Okay? Thank you for joining, guys. Thanks for being here. We're going to get going again. This is a chat about mindset and manifestation. You bring your questions. If you're working with our group, ask me questions. The circle and infinity symbol means you're part of our group. A lot of people ask, what does it mean when people have that? And that's what it means. Circle stands for the fact that we're a group of people standing in a closed circle and channeling energy inside of it, from which we project. We put our manifestation in and increase our power together. And the infinity is the symbol for power, for channeling infinite power. So, hi guys. Hi. I got a question from somebody in the group. So this is from the group. I bring some questions, you bring some questions. Let me know if there's anything you want to talk about in specific. So this queen says, she's in our group. I have a question that I hope someone can answer. Mona instructed us to script 50 scenes of the best life we are living. I have more than 50 scenes that I can see. I just don't know how the proper way to start to script. Would I say, is it so that, thank you in advance for your help. Okay, so what I told her is we need to talk about, because I want to make sure everybody's doing it correctly. Now, if you scroll down my videos, maybe the 5th or 6th line, I have a video that says how to script, and I'm giving you examples about how I did my scripting and what came out of it. And anyways, what came out of it, I'm just giving some examples that are general, but a lot more specific things came out of it. But here's the thing on how to associate the visual scene with exactly whatever you're writing about in your manifestation. Let me just decrease the heat in my car a little bit because it's too hot, but I can't turn it off then. It's too cold. The joys of living in Canada. All right. So where was I? Okay, the scenes. What you need to do is have, and 50, I came up with this random number. What I meant to say is you need to have a lot of scenes in your mind that imply that your manifestation has already come to pass. Now, if you've been doing manifestation the way they tell you, with imagining that moment and that feeling and that moment, you've already done all that. Everybody's done all that. Okay, let's say your wedding day, let's say the first day of your job. Right now, you need to go around that moment. Guys, please don't call me. I don't take calls during my life. You need to go around that moment and create scenes in the future, and maybe even in the past of that event, but in your future, that you can describe in words. So let me give you an example with a wedding day. Say you're single, you want to be married in 2 years. So you need to come up with 50 scenes, 50 meaning a lot of scenes, okay? That you can have an image and speak about, and you're going to call your friend, you're going to have a friend you do this with, or you do it with somebody in our group, you connect with somebody, and then you say, I am now looking, it is now July 2024, I got engaged, I'm looking for my wedding dress. And you're going to see yourself shopping for the wedding dress, you're going to see yourself negotiating the rates with vendors. You're going to see yourself seeing wedding places where you want to get married, and then you're going to have scenes in the future. So after your wedding, you're going to have scenes of your honeymoon. You're going to have scenes of, you know, sending thank you notes for the gifts that you received for your wedding. You're going to build the scenes. Then you're going to write about it. You're going to say, it is now, I don't know, December 2024, or, you know, March 2025. I have to send out at least 150 thank you notes in the next week. So I better get to it. And here's the people that most impressed me at my wedding with, in terms of their generosity with the gifts. And so you create this future, you understand in your mind, and you're going to say, Aunt Stella, she provided me with so much support, and I didn't even expect that she'd be there for me. You're creating the scenarios that are, you're narrating the script that is your life. And you're not staying in this abstract idea, one image of you in your wedding dress. You're moving in different scenes that imply that this scene has taken place. So you even go forward 5 years into the future. And you write, it is now, I don't know, January 2030, okay? I love my 3 children, but I actually never realized I had to cook so much. And tomorrow I have to wake up really early, 6:30, and make the lunches and do everything for them. So this is how you create a future, by scripting, by envisioning, by staying in that vision. So even though you have 50 scenarios, they all imply that you found the man of your dreams, that you married him, and that you now have a family. So I hope I'm being very, very clear on this. You can do this with a job, by seeing 2 years into the future. Oh, they sent me on this trip as a bonus, or they sent me, you know, to California to meet with this client, and it's what I always wanted to do. I better prepare. I better start, like, think of concrete things that would happen in the life of that person that you want to be. Because I find many times they tell you, oh, act from the perspective that you are already that person. But it's hard to sort of, you know, conceptualize that, right? Act from the person. Okay, what do you mean exactly? Well, I mean, like, the day-to-day of that person, which is different than the day-to-day of you. Can you do that with a specific person? You can do that. I don't advise, because I have a whole videos on SP, so I don't want to get into the topic. But I think you can definitely do that with the version of SP that exists in your head. Did you see what I mean? Rather than saying, me and John Smith are planning our trip to Barcelona and we're in Barcelona, you know, the man that you want out of him, the essence of that man, scripting about that, just say, I woke up into, you know, whatever you want to say, my boyfriend, my husband's arms, and it felt so good. And it felt, you know, I never even imagined I could have such an intimate connection with somebody. Now that we're on vacation, it feels like, you know, we're even more connected than ever. And we're like, but keep it more high level than just say, John Smith did this. That's what I would say. I started manifesting a trip to Greece, and next day my fiance asked if I wanted to go on vacation. Avi. But Marlena, you had a lot of success with the group and the challenge, so you're a natural. You're like, really, you know. Yeah. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything, because in this things, part of it is teaching, and part of it is I want to make sure I take question. Is it okay to say something now? Only my positive thoughts manifest now as an affirmation. It's not incorrect to say it, but I personally don't think that could go too deep in your subconscious. That would be changing the rules of the game, and I don't think we can do that. The game is our paradigm manifests. And you can definitely say no to thoughts once you're aware of it, but to put a stop from now until forever, then none of your negative thoughts would manifest. That's sort of like saying, I now relinquish my responsibility to be in awareness for the rest of my life. And I give this mantra by which I'm changing the rules of the game, that only my positive thoughts would manifest. And I don't think we can do that. The rules of the game is clearly all the contents of our subconscious are being dumped into the rendering of 3D reality in one way or another. And so When you catch a negative thought, you can definitely reverse it in the moment, but the game requires awareness, because consciousness can only evolve through awareness. And so if your awareness is not required, if you could just do a magical mantra, only positive things happen to me, that would be too simple. I highly doubt the game is designed that way. You bought the 60-day challenge, you're struggling a bit to understand what to do. Well, Becky, put all questions, like send me an email with your questions. The instructions are, very, very clear at the top of the sheet, but I don't mind responding. Send me an email to the email address there, or put any question in our Facebook group, and I'll be happy to respond. I respond to everybody that's pertinent within 24 hours. So please tell me your questions, like via email. Can you elaborate why we cannot mention specific person name in manifesting SP? I have a whole SP list, and how I think about SP is different than how other people teach you how to think about SP. This idea that everyone is you pushed out is taken way too literally. And so somebody convinced you, or a whole bunch of people convinced you, that you are the only consciousness that exists, and everyone else is a puppet, a robot. And if the game worked that way, then we would be the creator's robots, and we would just all be executing his will. But it's very clear we're given free will to do what we want. And it's very clear we wouldn't do this to our children either. We wouldn't, if you could make your child say certain things and act a certain way, would you do it 24/7? No, because you would take away the essence of them. And you don't have that right, and you wouldn't even want to. But you know what's happening now, because in everyone is you pushed out. And this is especially applicable to women, unfortunately. Women have become so obsessed with these men, okay, that to the point that the dominant idea is, I can control this man's behavior towards me, and I can make him love me, obsessed with me, doing all these things for me, and if I'm not able to do that, or he's not returning, I'm doing something wrong. And women, because I literally have a few clients like this, have spent 2-3 years doing this with specific individuals. What happens is, because of the way the game of consciousness works, sometimes you can entrap another person's consciousness by playing this game, and they come back, but then they leave you again and again and again, even if they do things that they haven't done before, because every spell eventually unravels. And so if you want to have a person as an object, the result will always be negative. Because if you loved him, you would want him to have whatever makes him happy. And you would change yourself and your self-concept such that a man who you love could be with you, that you could love as well, who would make you happy. And that man is very likely to be him. But in this realization, 1, you wanting the best for him, and 2, you wanting the best for yourself. In this intention is where space is created for you to have the general outcome, positive outcome, as me contributing to a spouse, my spouse contributing to me when I'm single, right? As opposed to this obsession with John Smith and making him, even God wouldn't make him act a certain way, but you somehow got in your head that you are going to make this man act a certain way. Now, let's talk about everyone is you pushed out, because this is an interesting topic. Everyone is you pushed out means the world is a mirror, and we know it is a mirror. What it means is, if you have a strong either personality or a strong vibrational point that you persist in, that vibrational point will contaminate everyone around you. This is true in positive and in the negative. So in the negative, it's clear. If somebody's angry, is on the road, starts swearing at other drivers, it's going to stir you up inside. Now, you may have enough control to say, I'm not going to react. But inside of you, if somebody comes up to you and starts yelling at you to your face, you will feel the same state he has inside of you. Okay, in the positive, we all met like one of those old ladies who have this intoxicated kindness to them, okay, that you can't help but like fall in love with them, and you want to help them, and and they walk through the world blessing everyone and doing away with very little and having this goodness inside of them. If you've ever met a woman like that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. She's completely disarming to everyone around you or around herself, and so that's what it means, right? She's like, everyone becomes her pushed out, because in her reality, that point of vibration it's just so strong and it's so permanent in her self-concept that she's reflecting that in everyone around her. Now, when these coaches are telling you need to become magnetic, you're the shit, you're this, you're that, you're the queen of this world, and you raise yourself to become that. Number one, are you going to be able to stay there permanently on a daily basis? It has to feel natural to you. Now, if you had some defective programming, some things in you that didn't really resonate, other people convinced you weren't good enough, and now you convince yourself that you are good enough, that program is going to stick. If this is completely outside your personality and your paradigm, this spell you're trying to put on yourself is not going to stick. But more importantly, whether or not it's natural or not, is no guarantee that somebody will want you. Why? Because let's take some example. Being magnetic and having great self-concept. Let's take an example. Person like this, the 45th president of the United States. Yeah, magnetic, unforgettable, and amazing self-concept to himself. Now, because of that, life returned to him the very best. But does this mean everyone loves him? Does this mean because he's magnetic and unforgettable and has a great self-concept, everyone loves him? So what makes you think that just because you have such a high self-concept, the person that you want will automatically love you? In fact, what you might mirror back to them is the exact same feeling in themselves. You think you're the shit, they think more that they're the shit, right? Because now it's like a mirror, right? You're magnetic, well, he's magnetic too. He's super magnetic. He thinks he walks in the world and he's magnetizing everyone, because this is your concept of yourself and everyone is you pushed out. No? This is why this thing doesn't make sense to think of it that way. To think of it that everyone is you pushed out means you can enslave another consciousness. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? This is very complex, and I generally don't go into this depth, but I wanted to this time because everybody is on the wrong track now with SPs. I'm working with people who have wasted literally 2 years of their lives whispering, scripting John Smith, specifically him, and magnifying this person until, actually what is good for them, it doesn't matter, because now they have this immense investment into manifesting this man. And if this man doesn't come back, well, they would have to scratch the whole concept and admit that they wasted all this time. So just like a bad relationship, instead of wasting it, you persist in it. So let's see if I missed anything or if there's any questions about this. I want my queens, okay, people who are following my content, people who work with us in our group, I want you to keep it high level and not mention everyone's name in your manifestation. I want you to keep it to my loving husband, whom I love. Okay, I want you to keep it to, I can't believe that I'm so happy every single day of my life. I can't even, I'm so grateful for, feeling so safe, secure. I'm such a protector, provider, prioritizer. I'm such a great man. And it's implied that you love him if you be with him, right? If you know your character, that you wouldn't be with a guy just to be with a guy. Okay, if you only be with people you love, you being with a guy already implies you're in love with him. So why do you need John Smith specifically? That's what you should ask yourself. Let's see. What I missed. How do you stop feeling attracted to your manifestation when it's something you need ASAP? This is harder. Okay, the timelines I don't like, but the way I deal with this and the way it's always been done for me. And I give that example with those exam results that I manifested to come my way when I didn't know how to do that assignment. You have to have a core idea that all of your needs are always met. And from this core idea, I I can't do this. I don't know how to start. I don't know how by Friday I'm going to, you know, finalize this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to pay this bill. But all of my needs are always met. And I'm not even going to try to start to think about how I'm going to do it. You know why? Because literally when I try to start to think about how I'm going to do it, I don't know how to do it. And in addition to that, the universe says, okay, you do it then. Right? Just say, I'm not going to do anything to solve this, but my needs are always met. So if there's an affirmation, everyone should repeat to themselves. Of course, we want more than our needs, but this should be a core belief that no matter what life serves you, your needs are always met. Okay, let's see. I'm doing the challenge now for almost 2 months. Originally, I tried to manifest my ex. I bet you ended up with better than your ex. Okay. But I bet you other good things have happened in your life. Most people change their goals when they do the 60-day challenge. They set their goals to certain things, and afterwards they change their mind and they restart the challenge. I've spent a lot of time thinking over the everyone is you pushed out philosophy. Their definition depends on infinite. I hope what I said about everyone is you pushed out made sense. They say in my reality I can date a celebrity. In your reality you can. You never know what's in. Just listen to the way I presented it. This live will be posted on YouTube just so you can listen to this concept again of everyone is you pushed out. Is very important. There's an element of truth to it, but it's not in the simplified way that it's been presented. Oh, my ex said some of them, but I met a new person who has all of them, plus he treats me as I wanted. Are you guys paying attention? She's doing the challenge for 2 months. She originally manifesting her SP. She listened to my playlist on the SP. And she met a new person who has all of the characteristic, plus he treats her like she wanted. In this release of your SP and of enslaving his consciousness, of exerting this, you know, your energy is gold. It's your currency. You're trading gold to make another person into someone who treats you nicely and who you would want. And instead of doing that, instead of exerting this precious gold and expanding it, you could let the universe just bring you that person. Okay, I know this is hard to convince people of this for some reason. I don't know why, honestly. I honestly don't know why it's hard to convince people of this. I've always had this philosophy, and I've always been like, you know what? Something better is out there for me. Something, if this doesn't work out, something better is, you know, like in this letting go, I think it was so extreme for me that I actually manifested my SP. But, and I have many videos on this, but I'm telling you, I knew for a fact that my goal would be realized with him or without him. And I wished him well, and I wanted him to have whatever it is he wanted, because I loved him and I just wished him well, you know. But at the same time, I put myself at the top, and I'm like, while I'm wishing him well, I want for me X and Y and Z. Okay, I'm not gonna exert my energy in enslaving his consciousness. Maybe I make him a little obsessed with me, maybe, but is he really gonna give me what I want? If I'm doing this, then you have another problem, and your problem will be like, is your spell going to unravel? Right? Are you going to be able to maintain this level of obsession? And because nobody can maintain that. Okay, you don't know a couple that's been together for a long time, has a productive relationship, and he's obsessed with her. That doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. Life is all about, you get exhausted, you need peace, you need balance, you need compatibility, you need, you know. So Queen Anas, I am extremely proud of you. Thank you for listening to the way I present the SP situation, and I'm so glad you met somebody else who fulfills that for you. And don't be surprised if your ex comes back a changed man in addition to that, because this is a real change of self-concept you've done. How do you keep going when your family tends to be negative, but you're doing the work to be better? What I say is always, well, I don't know, by your family, you mean people you live with, or your mother, or you're never obligated to have a relationship with another adult. You should listen to that again. There are adults in our lives that are really negative for our state of being and our state. And they could be friends, they could be parents, they could be, you know, sometimes spouses, but I don't advise you what to do with your spousal relationship. But all the other adults in your life, the relationships need to be evaluated on a, let's say, yearly basis, and be like, has this been a good year in this relationship for me? Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes we assume that the friends we had from high school are still bringing value to our lives. But as you grow, especially if you're on this path, especially if you're listening to this kind of content, something sticks. You're able to generate some things, and you know, you can't take everyone with you on this path, because some people don't have the ability to grow, don't have the interest to grow, and it's their free will whether they decide to grow or not. You understand? You can't convince them to come. This is why I don't do videos convincing people manifestation is real. Look what happened to me. Look what... This is for people who already know it's real. They just want to do it. They just want to move forward. They're stuck. They're what have you. But I'm telling you, I've cut out a lot of people. And paradoxically, even people I wanted to keep in my life, they just fell out of my life as I progressed through this work. And I let that happen because I knew, like, they're at the same point that they were 3 years ago, 4 years ago, but I'm different and my life is different. You know what I mean? So you have to constantly assess who's in your life. I am so happy for you, Queen Anas. It's mind-blowing. You know what? But you got the challenge to be mind-blown, no? If you let go, the challenge is... It has an energetic... you guys know it's a download I got when I was in a room of 1,800 people on the floor meditating at a Dr. Joe Dispenza seminar. And I know some of that energy came through with me. Came through to me and through me, and was... Because I immediately created this work and I was like, I'm sharing this. Makes sense. You saw a fox? Well, depends where you are. I'm in Canada, I see foxes all the time. Okay, let's see, because I feel like I missed quite a few comments. Just give me a second, guys. I manifest the one, but I'm not the one. I have some issues manifesting. And okay, let's see. Someone told me I was toxic for believing that everything will work out for me. That's a person you need to cut out of your life. First of all, you do not need to tell them that. Keep this work to yourself. I say this to everybody who gets a challenge in my intro email. Keep this work to yourself as much as possible. Don't share it with anyone. Don't share that you're doing this work with anyone. It's not... You need to maintain your energy. You're now recollecting the energy that you've been dissipating all your life with all these people. And the moment you tell them about it and they introduce doubt and fear, okay, when you're doing this challenge, the worst thing that can happen is nothing may change. But that's the worst thing. So your life would be the same. So there's no reason for you to tell them. Okay, the best thing that can happen is you can turn everything around. There's no reason to discuss it because of this. Okay. So if they see things changing for you, that's when you tell them. You tell them, I'm doing something for me and I'm changing my mind. If you want to, but you don't have to. I don't really talk about this work with anyone in my life. I mean, they know what I'm doing, but I never talk about, hey guys, I'm manifesting this. I don't talk to anyone about this. People don't get to decide what is good for you if you're not doing anything wrong. Exactly. I don't understand that everyone is you pushed out. I'm confused. I post this live on YouTube. It's under the same handle. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys, and then you can watch it there later, because I've been talking about it for 10-15 minutes. You're very welcome. You have beliefs about yourself. Let's see if there's a question for me. What if you have a feeling of a better life but no clear definition? This is a very pertinent question, because without a definition, nothing can happen. The universe doesn't know what makes you happy. It just delivers on the instruction. Again, the universe is not God. And I've been meaning to make this video on the model of reality. I will make it this week. Okay, God, formless substance, the universe, infinite intelligence, and us. You can have access to this to shape whatever people and circumstances, but not the way you want to shape it. The way it wants to shape it to produce the result you want, which implies you need to give a clear instruction into the formless substance. So you need to contemplate, meditate, maybe if you want, you can ask God, if you're a religious person, or if you just have the concept of God, what would be good for me? And with that feeling in your heart, you now have to define what is a life that would be satisfactory to you. Okay, would that include marriage? Would that include working? If it would include working, what kind of work would it be? I just connected to an old business contact of mine, and she was really high up at Google. Okay, she progressed through the ranks in the last 10 years when she was hired as a director. And and then I see that she changed her business to something very obscure, and I said, what's going on? And then she says, honestly, I quit. She said it was just soul crushing. I just couldn't do it anymore. I had like this really high salary, but my work is completely not meaningful. It's all bureaucracy. It's all like, and I wasn't doing anything that would grow me inside, and I dreaded everything. And I'm doing this business now, this little business for myself, just because I'm happy. Do you see what I mean? So you really have to think and always assess. Things that may have made you happy 10 years ago, 5 years ago, may not be where you want to be. And that's okay, because life is about growth, evolution of consciousness through love and pain, right? So you have to feel the pain, the discomfort, the I don't want this, in order to create that which you want. But you also have the free will to staying in status quo. Okay, that's what free will means. Guys, please don't call me. I don't take calls during my life. How to bring back my specific person. Watch my specific person playlist in my bio there. How can I stay in my visualization when 3D hits so hard? This is probably one of the hardest things in manifestation. It's staying the course. And Logan, because you're part of the group, and I'm sure you're on the Facebook group as well, you see the type of changes that people can make. And 3D really doesn't matter. Okay, if you guys know my story, okay, so when I decided, I'm divorced, and when I decided I wanted to be remarried, I wanted to have another life partner, someone obviously really good that I'm in love with, that who's in love with me. My biggest stumbling block was that I had this belief that guys who are divorced are reluctant to commit again. And because of this, reality was always presenting me men who always treated me very well, because that's what I demand out of man. But, they had I didn't see, and I couldn't get into a relationship because I couldn't justify being in a relationship with someone unless it was going somewhere. And so this game of, reality hits hard in a sense, like, oh, you could look at it and be like, they're all like this. I'm never going to find somebody. I'm telling you, Logan, the moment I changed my mind about that, it wasn't one person who wanted commitment. But the shift was profound inside of me. Was profound as to this belief, okay? And so it wasn't just a visualization of me in my wedding dress. It was a strong conviction that marriage was so good for men, and they're all looking for that. And no man wants to grow old alone. And when this conviction changed inside of me, rather than being some dream of me being a bride, and everything shifted and reality presented itself differently. And I know it's not a coincidence, because how could it be like date after date, everyone was like, yeah, and I want, I'd love to get remarried. And I've never heard that before. I've never, so I want you to change your mind profoundly about some assumptions. And I don't think we spoke on a Zoom call. Maybe it's time for you to have one, because sometimes it's hard for us to see what is it that inside of you that's preventing reality from returning that to you. Mona, months ago I told you I was estranged from my mom. We reconciled and we are really good now. Oh, Queen, this is so amazing. It's such amazing news. And we had a lot of parent-child relationship really with the moms. It's mostly women and their moms, okay? And what I always advise women is to understand that mom perceives reality through the filter of her experience, and perceives everything that happens through you through the filter of how would she feel if it had happened to her. And if you can understand that, okay? If you can put yourself in her shoes and be like, she has the good intention for me, but she's passing this through the filter of her hurt, and feel sorry for her in a way when she's criticizing you, or when, you know, like all of these negative things are surfacing. And you don't, and the second part of this is, you don't actually need their validation anymore if you're an adult woman. You don't. You need to be the one there for them, you know, kind of thing, and let them unfold in their pain and what they've gone through, and you seeing it from a detached perspective. But I'm so happy to hear that. Same. Let's see. I've kept to myself most of this year. Good. Sometimes you need that. And more in relationships. Let's see. Can it be solved? Encouraged? What is this? Is this the universe testing me? Was meant to move in today, but agent lost the keys. Don't even pay attention to this. This doesn't even happen. You know, don't look for meaning in things that you don't want. Okay? Just be like, I'll be there tomorrow. Just keep envisioning yourself in your house. And Lisa has been manifesting this house for, I don't know, what is it? 3 months? You've been working on this 4 months? So when do you meditate script group workbook? So basically, we in the challenge, we make the entries every day. There's entries you have to say out loud for the group, and then your scripting is individual, but you should do it the way I teach it. I have this problem at work. Can visualization help? You have no problems at work. Okay, Aaron, you have no issues whatsoever. Wake up, this is a great day at work. I can't wait to get to work. I love the people at my work, and they love me. Great advice on parent, yeah. Parent-child relationship later in life, when the child is no longer a child. Why is the universe is not God? I'm going to make a video on the structure of the world that I teach. The universe is not God. The universe is very neutral in terms of what it returns. It's what we refer to as the universe, right? It's the infinite intelligence that shapes circumstances and events based on our paradigm. That's what the universe is. Your move happened because of the challenge before it was so blocked. Oh my God. Okay, I have time to read one more. And guys, when you email me, if you email me something, and we're now working together, I do take some questions. I can't respond to everybody, but if I feel it benefits the group, I will read it out loud. You know, if I feel like there's a lesson in it. Somebody says, I downloaded the meditation app. Per year, it's a little expensive. Okay, so I recommended this app for that I do meditations. Guys, I have no affiliations with them, so I just share good things that I find along the way. If it's too expensive for you, well, I don't have other suggestions because that's what I use, but maybe somebody else does. This is for balancing the right and left brain hemisphere. It's about $100 a year, I think. But I'm pretty sure they have a free trial if you want to try it. Okay, so this queen says, I'll try to keep this short as I can because I know you appreciate getting right to the point. Since I began the 60-day challenge, she says, I got to day 27 the first time, started over. Now I'm day 29 in round 2. I have made a lot of progress mentally, and thank you for this work. She's saying, I was married for over 20 years to a wonderful man, but wanted more out of life, so she divorced. They're still close friends. Right after her marriage ended, I met a man who I fell very quickly for. We both did. We were both coming out of long-term marriages and were very compatible physically, which I've never had before, and in many other areas. He was a provider from the beginning. He was attentive, prioritized me and us. At that time, I was really feeling like I needed to be a strong, independent woman, even though I really wanted to be loved, protected, provided, and prioritized. What do I tell you guys? This man did all those things. I wasn't always appreciative. I would sometimes snap at him and say, I don't want your protection. I see now that that was sometimes the problem. This man bought me a house, sold his house, and moved closer to me. I wasn't ready to move in with him. That's why. He would leave me notes all the time, and he would do so much for me without asking. He took us on trips, would buy me flowers. He would always tell me that I'm beautiful. He was such a strong man, but without being a brute. There were little things that I sometimes didn't like, but overall, he ticked all of the boxes. We were together for over 4 years. He would occasionally end things abruptly, saying he needed to get more stable. He would say that he knew he was being selfish, but that he had to get good with himself. He would occasionally battle alcohol, but he was never abusive of anything like that. Just needed time to himself. It would break my heart. He did this several times, and for a while I would eat the breadcrumbs because I know I had self-concept issues, and probably drove him away. I did this for 2 years. I had fear of rejection and abandonment. I even told him that. I know he never left me for other women, never. It was really that he just needed his space to heal. We finally parted ways for what seemed to be the last time. I am also finally starting to let go of the idea of him. I would love to have him be better and come back, but I also learned so much about myself, and I truly want what I want. Here's the thing that has me struggling. When I make my list of what I want, he has all those things. He was doting, dutiful, protective, a great provider, and he even prioritized me and us for a very long time, but here I am. Ultimately, he left me. I do believe that it had a lot to do with my self-concept at the time. I think part of me felt like I couldn't keep a man like him, a huge limiting belief. I am happy to take the SP off the pedestal and put myself on the pedestal. I'm beginning to let go. But question is, what now? Him or better, someone else? If I'm being honest, there's a part of me that is terrified that I will never find a man that ticks all these boxes like he did without other issues that drove us apart. How do I get past this? I'm really benefiting from this work and I want to continue improving. Thank you so much. Okay, so that was a long story, but I find it really interesting if you stayed with us for the story. So here's the thing that happens. It so happens that there's several elements in the story I want to talk about. Number one, she parted ways amicably with her ex-husband after 20 plus years of marriage. Okay, in that state of peace and letting go and being like, this isn't for me, but I'm not scared to leave it, right? And as she's returning back to herself, it is very likely that if you leave a relationship with peace in your heart, okay, you would find somebody that would be highly beneficial for you, right? Because you left with good intentions, you didn't hurt the other person, you're still friends, what have you. So this man shows up in her life, and this man is exactly a match for her physically and everything else. Now she starts telling herself all these lies, which has to do with the timing in her life. The timing in her life is like she was probably with another provider. Now she wants to feel like this independent woman who can do whatever it is she wants, and maybe she met him too soon. But he ticks all these boxes, and believe me, no man buys you a house, sells his house, moves closer to you when you're not ready to move in together just to leave you, right? So she's right in saying it is her self-concept that crumbled this whole thing, okay? And so what I want you guys to understand, that the practical aspects of life are highly intertwined with what manifests in your life, with what you can get, with what you can attract, with what you can keep. But a mistake that women make over and over, and I see this over and over, is they are not honest with what they want, okay? If your only chance of being loved and being loved long-term is if you are vulnerable, okay? The repressed emotion creates a need to sort of present yourself in a different light than you are, right? And this has to do with society too. I want to be a strong, independent woman, and I don't need anyone protecting me and providing for me. But the thing is, for a man, the element of protecting and providing a woman is the way, in my opinion, a real man expresses love. And so if you're not going to show that vulnerable side of you, but instinctually, just like she's admitting, and she's later in life, she's been married for 20 plus years, she still wants a protected provider, prioritizer, right? If you're not willing to let go of societal expectations and to analyze your feelings and to know what would be best for me at this point in time, You could have something really good happen to you, and it could all fall apart because of you. Do you see what I mean? Now, the beauty of the universe is it doesn't just give you once and then say, oh, you didn't appreciate it, so you'll never have it again. You know, it doesn't work that way. It's neutral. It's like infinite machine mechanical intelligence. So the good news is the moment you realign yourself with that goodness feeling, with that clarity of intention, I know that I want a protector, provider, prioritizer. I'm not going to take anything less. But at the same time, I am willing to reciprocate with him by being value add in his life. Not by saying, I'm not ready to move in with you. I don't need your protection. I don't need. And then you wonder why he's leaving you or why he's sensing that rejection inside of you, right? So, lesson learned. I told you, queens, every mistake is okay. But what is not okay is a loop. Okay? If you're in a loop, same thing happens all over again with another guy, that's a problem. It's a problem, and the problem is you. So if you see this thing and you acknowledge that you've made a mistake and it was a mistake because you weren't clear of what you wanted, and just redefine it all over again. And believe me, the way you attracted it the first time, you'll attract it the second time. Now, it could be him, it could be better, it could be the exact same, like a person with the exact same characteristics. So what I want to tell this queen is, it will happen for her 100%. I don't know if with him or with somebody else, but as she gains more clarity and she's doing the work, I guarantee you 2 months from now, she'll have an update to the story. Do not despair. Do not think the universe only delivers to you once. Do not think I screwed up forever. Never think that. Never think that. It's just like, okay, the output, the printout that I got was not good enough. Okay, I'm going to give different instructions. The computer's going to print out something similar or, like update it with my instructions. That's how you need to understand manifestation. That's how, and be honest. Be honest in your vulnerability as a woman. Just be honest. You have nothing to lose. Okay, if you meet a man who's like, starts to violate your boundaries because he saw you were honest with him about where you're vulnerable, just get rid of him. Right away. Nobody can pretend there's somebody else for more than 3 months. I told you guys. And in 3 months, you shouldn't feel like, oh my God, this is the man of my life. Take it slow. Take it slow. Be vulnerable. Say, this is what I need. This is what I want. This is what, at this point in my life, I'm looking for. Oh, I would appreciate it if you open the car door for me. Oh, you don't do that? It's important for me. You know what I mean? And this is a trivial example. But it goes to show what else he's not willing to do for you. If he's not willing to do that thing that doesn't cost him any money, how likely is he that he's going to do things that's costing him money? Right? Carla, you're dating a very kind, generous man now? That's so good. I know you're manifesting marriage. And you've spent 2023 healing your nervous system and feminine energy. That's it. It's the feminine energy. Guys, don't go through loops. Don't let people violate your boundaries, but be honest with them about who you are. Be honest. And whoever can meet you there and nurture your femininity stays. Everybody else, bye. The name of the app, it was called for the balancing right and brain hemisphere, left brain hemisphere, is it was Synctuition. It's now owned by Mind Spa. Let's see. Can you manifest a better life for your children? We don't have time for that discussion. It depends how old your children are as well and what your relationship with them is. And the reason I'm saying that is that a lot of people create negative bonds with their children later in life. Even though there's a lot of resentment that accumulates sometimes between parent and child. So I couldn't do a blanket statement for that. Children should always benefit from their mother's protection energetically, I'm talking about, and they can. Is this the case for everybody? No, because it depending on the bonds that you formed and the bonds that you enforced between you and your children, and how hard your children have struggled against those bonds. I'm the breadwinner. It gets hard to stay in my feminine energy. You can't be the breadwinner in a relationship with a man. It's not, the conversation can't even go any further if you're the breadwinner. Thank you, guys. I think this is it. Did you have any other questions? Because let me just make sure I covered everything. Oh, somebody asked me, how can I make something happen faster? And I told you guys, I don't, I'm not good on, like, you know, not that I'm not good. I'm not keen on giving a blanket statement of manifesting something by Friday. But somebody asked me, how can I expedite this so it can happen faster? And I tell you guys, to expedite anything, you need to increase the certainty inside of you that that event is going to occur. That's number one. And number two thing, you need to understand that time, okay, the way I understand time is simply the moving of your consciousness from one event to another. As you move your consciousness from one event to another, time passes. That's all that time is, right? Time just exists for us in this dimension, as you know. You already know if you're down this rabbit hole. So as you are able to shift your consciousness from this 3D to the event that you want to experience, that time will narrow if you're actually able to switch it and stay there in that event with your eyes open and with your eyes closed. Two men wanted me. I can't choose. I love them both. Nice. Don't be surprised when you're doing this work. Two men may show up who want to offer you the same thing, and they may have characteristics that you like in both of them. But if you then sit back with your intuition and let things sort of play out without you doing something, I guarantee you, like the universe will create a circumstance via which it will be clear is that guy over another. But don't try to make this happen yourself. Don't try to make this selection yourself. Just stay on the future that you want to have. What do you want out of this man specifically? Right? And as you're staying in that, the universe will select the one that best matches that outcome. Sit back, let it unfold. You know, I'm really happy to see that you guys are doing the work. It's very important for all the queens in our group to shift, to have this mentality shift into their feminine energy. This is very important, because not just because, oh, men will react differently. It's because the feminine energy is the creative energy. And in fact, assess yourself, because the times in your life where you manifested less or you couldn't really make things happen, I guarantee you're more in your masculine energy. And when you were in the feminine energy, even that just meant you were vulnerable, or you were just in a space where it was clearly feminine. You felt helpless, and then something good happened. That's because you're in your feminine creative energy. You're on day 2 and you have so many questions, but you're thinking, I think give it until day 10 to sedimentize, you know, do the work exactly as I outlined it. I updated the instructions and I updated a few things. So I wanna make sure you do it exactly as per the instructions. I re-clarified, and please do consider being part of the group. It's like being part of a group is like $4 a month. So for the 2 months you're doing the challenge, okay? Because I wanted to offer the support group for the people who are doing the challenge. You need to read other people's success stories. I have a lot of clarifications there. Guys, don't forget that tomorrow we're fasting for new moon, December 12th, okay? If you want to do it with me, if you're part of my group, I will just be juicing the whole day. And then at 8 p.m. we have a group meditation. The group is on Facebook. Go to my bio and just be there, Facebook group. And then when we get the email, we'll just add you to the group or send you the instructions. You need to go through the group material. There's a lot of stuff there, and I do a private live for my group for personal questions every 2 weeks. Imagine I move in tomorrow with the new moon. Yeah, what do you imagine? I'm imagining it. You're already there. Lisa, that's already done for you. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even, obviously. They just lost the key. It's not, yeah. If you joined late, all the questions have been answered that have been sent to me. And, you know, the ones that I was going to take up. And this live will be posted on YouTube as normal. Oh, you're the breadwinner, but all your manifestations blossoming around you. But what about the man? No, I know. Everyone who's doing the work with me, their lives are coming together. And you know what I love? It's like when queens tell me, my mental state and my mental health has improved dramatically since I'm doing this. Like, that is priceless. You know what I mean? Priceless. Oh, you're married to the man. Okay, and you're the breadwinner. Well, let me tell you something. We had another queen in our group who changed that. As she started to do this work, she couldn't stand it anymore that she was the breadwinner. So I don't know, but 3 months later, I told her, I said, he will step out to the plate or your relationship will dissolve, because you won't be able to. She couldn't stand it anymore. And so things completely changed. He actually, like, I don't know, he manifested career change. He started to produce. She's like, he's now paying 70-80%. So I was like, that's amazing. You know what I mean? You're very welcome. Did you expand on manifesting human-made concepts yet? I don't know what you mean. Send me an email if you have a more detailed question. It's late now, but I can, you know, I take the emails that are pertinent to the group and pertinent to everyone's knowledge. So if you have a question like that, email it to me, mona.khad@yahoo.com. He's changing for the better. Next step is making him a breadwinner. You will succeed in that 100%. All right. I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining. We'll put our hands together. We'll do the 369 tapping with I am a winner. If you want to do this with me, it takes 30 seconds. If not, we will see you Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Put your hands together. One breath. I am a winner. 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 I am a winner.